a little boy going to my nanner's house. Man, I love being at my nanner's house because man, that was protection city right there, man. That was my heaven on earth right there at my nanner's house. And I remember being in her kitchen and seeing a sign she had up on her wall. It's this little ceramic sign was hung up on her wall, and it simply said this. It's probably it is the first prayer that I ever really learned to pray. And it's a simple prayer. And this is what it said. Dear Lord, help me today to keep my big mouth shut. And I'm like, thinking about that, the world we're living in today, man, that would be a good sign for a lot of people, is to keep our big mouth shut. Because, man, we are all guilty, aren't we, of saying stuff. I mean, I know I am. I know I'm guilty of saying something and then playing it back in my mind and listening and going, oh, man, where in the world did that come from? Because that's not who I am. That's not how I feel. That's not what I believe. And, we're all guilty of that. And the thing is, our words, they can hurt people. They can destroy people. They can also encourage people. They can also inspire people, motivate people. And it's crazy, isn't it? The stuff that comes out of our mouths. And a lot of times we sit there going, man, where does this stuff come from? Because, the truth of the matter is, our words, that's not what gets us in trouble. You know what gets us in trouble? It's our hearts. It's our hearts. It's not a word problem. It's a heart problem. I'm going to show you. It's in the Bible. It says it right here in the Bible. Matthew 12:34. Listen to what it says. Whatever means whatever, is in your heart determines what you say. Whatever is in your heart determines what you say. See, your words, my words, our words, demonstrate our heart condition. Our words demonstrate our heart's condition. That's kind of scary, isn't it? Especially when we start thinking about what you said just today. It's kind of frightening. Because, somebody who has a harsh tongue is demonstrating that they have an angry heart. It's just facts. Somebody who's constantly bragging is somebody who has a insecure heart. And a person who shares encouraging words with others is a heart that reveals there's joy in that heart. A person who offers up gentle words to somebody during a time of need or just in a conversation, offers up gentle words. It just shows there's a person who has a loving, kind heart. Our problem is our heart is contaminated. And it gets contaminated by the stuff we listen to, by the stuff that we watch, just the things that we put on ourselves. We contaminate ourselves. And that stuff, even though we may hear something or read something or see something, it may not at the moment affect us, but what happens is it gets in us. And then before we know it, or before we even realize it, man, it comes out. And it comes out in some of the dangest places. It comes out. And so, as I'm sitting out here by a campfire. It reveals the condition of our heart. And the only way for us to deal with it is that we have to deal with our heart. And here's the great thing about Jesus is he is an expert. He is a specialist when it comes to doing transplants of our hearts. We just have to go to him. Kind of like what I'm doing tonight, sitting out and just spending some time listening. Getting up in the morning, reading the Bible and spending time in his word. Listening to worship music. Listening to sermons and podcasts and that stuff to fill me up with good stuff. The world gives me enough bad stuff. I need to be intentional by putting more good stuff in me so that when I do speak, more good comes out than the ugly stuff that comes out. You know, I have a great example of this verse here, this verse 12, about what's in your heart determines what you say. My dad, I love my dad. He's been gone now almost over 20 years now. But man, my dad can cuss. Man, he could cuss. Man, I tell you what, he was such a good cusser. Actually, my first words as a kid was a cuss word. That's how good he was. And if I ever introduce you to my dad, man, just in him saying hello, he would drop some cuss words just in saying hello to you. I mean, it was pretty amazing. I mean, he was very talented. Very talented. And he would cuss in Bohemian as well. So he was multi-talented. But I remember I had the opportunity to lead my dad to Jesus. And I remember after my dad prayed to receive Jesus as his Lord and Savior, hardly ever did I hear a cuss word come from his mouth. As a matter of fact, I don't remember hearing a cuss word come from his mouth after he prayed to ask Jesus to come into his life. You see, my dad's heart changed when he asked Jesus to come in. And when Jesus did, it changed my dad's vocabulary. It changed the words that came out of his mouth. I said that's the only way we can change our words, is that we have to allow Jesus to do a heart transplant on us. So this week, listen to what you're saying and just kind of do a heart check. Just kind of check your heart by listening to yourself or what you're saying. And just simply ask yourself, would this be pleasing to Jesus? And if not, confess it. Ask him, Lord, help me to keep my mouth shut. And he will. He will. He's just waiting for you to ask. He's just waiting for you to ask. So that's my encouragement for you, my challenge to you, is to simply do that. Check your words. Check your heart. And see where it is. I believe if we all did that, this would be a better place. Our homes would be better. Jobs would be better. Communities, just like world would be better if we would just take our time and do that each day. Hey, appreciate you listening. Appreciate you taking the time to tune in to this and watch this. And please share, subscribe, share, all that stuff you need, that you do. Do that, because who knows, maybe this would be a message that helps somebody to get through something. I don't know. I never know who listens to these. So share away. Take care, and don't forget, walking sticks. Mark Edmondson's walking sticks. I appreciate some people have already reached out to Mark. Appreciate that. Keep it up. Hey, let's make this walking stick thing go viral. All right. Mark Edmondson's walking sticks. I'll put the link in down below. I'll put that down there for you to go to. It's Facebook Marketplace. Hey, take care. I love you. God bless. And God bless our mothers.